Hello guys, good morning. This is Dheeraj and I'll be starting with web scraping, which is a part of data collection. Web scraping is something where you extract content or HTML and stuff from internet. Uh, Here we'll be using Python to do so. We have two, three libraries to do web scraping. Particularly, we have Beautiful Soup, Selenium, and then Scrapy and other stuff. But then we'll be doing some web scraping using Beautiful Soup. So I'll be doing this with Visual Studio Code only for now. I'll share you all the Polar files as well later. So to start with, we'll have to first import Beautiful Soup, right? So one sec. We'll be using two libraries for now. One is Beautiful Soup and request. We'll have three different parts in this web scraping tutorial. One is we'll try to get content from a static HTML website only. Like, this is the code for this, and this is how this looks actually. We'll be taking out course name, info, and prices for this particular card, and we'll be doing same thing for three different stuff, and we'll try to compile all this info and put it in a file, or we'll just print stuff from this, right? Uh, so in order to do this, we'll first have to open this particular HTML file using file handling, right? And then what this does is we are creating a new variable called soap uh, using this particular object from this beautiful soap module, and then we'll feed this the HTML file and we'll use the LXML parser to parse this file, and then we'll store the contents on the soap. We have other parsers as well, but then LXML is the fastest known for now, so we'll be using that. And then we'll try to read this content. So we'll be using something called as soup.prettify. What this does is it basically presents the content inside soup in a clear and concise manner. Once you run this, you get something like this. Uh, as you can see, we've got the HTML file outside. So that's how you read the content after you pass. So let's say you want this title part, title tag alone out of this HTML. Uh, you can use something like, let's create something, a variable called title, and then let's use soup.title. What this does is it takes out the title tag alone from this HTML uh, content and it gives it outside. Sorry, forgot to print it. There you go. You've got the title part alone. But then you won't need this tags because you know that it's a title and you don't need it. So you can add something like dot text. So what this does is it just extracts the text out of this particular tag and it gives it back. So there you go. You've got the text part out of this title. And then what else do we have in this is like we have p tags and we have href tags, right? Let's say you have three href tags as you can see for three different courses. So let's say you want the href tags alone, all the href tags. So we'll create something like href equals so dot find href, right? And then we are printing it out. You can see that you only got the first href tag. Data science for beginners, yeah, we've got only the first href tag, right? But then we want all the href tags. So we have something called as let's create href all. We have something called as find all, which basically, as it says, it finds all the href tags in the document and then it gives it back like this. It gives it in a form of list. So again, if you want the text part alone, you just add text over here, right? It gives you text. So you just add text here. It should give you the text part alone, right? But then you have an error. Like, why do you think so this happens? Like, you have any answers for this? Okay, it doesn't matter. As you can see, when you run this without text, you get a list full of elements, right? But then what this text does is it takes a particular element and then it extracts the text from that element. So since we have a list of elements, we'll have to use a for loop. We'll go through each of this element in this list and then we'll apply like, and then we'll apply the text part to each of the particular elements and we get the text from each element. So that's how you do it when you have a list of elements. When you're finding everything and you'll have to get text from each of the elements that you have. So let's say like you have these three parts. You have H5, P, and A, right? So let's say you want to make a file where you have the course name, how much it costs, and then details for this course. How do you do that is we can observe that all these three parts are under a div called the class card body, right? So what you can do is we'll start from the first. We'll create something called as course, and then we'll find all the divs with the class name card body, right? Why do I mention card body specifically here is because there's not just a single div here. We have one, two, we have multiple divs, right? But then not every div contains this text part where you have the course name, the info part, and the price. So we need this particular div where we have all these three, and so in such a way that it repeats everywhere. Like you have the entire all the courses part in divs like card body only. So we'll have to mention the specific class with this div name, right? So again, what this does is you get a list of three elements where you have these three divs, one, two, and three. So now what you'll have to do is, as I told you previously, we'll traverse through this. Let's say for C in course, uh, we'll print. We need this part right first h5. So we will print C dot h5 dot text. So we have got all the three course names again, but then this time we have another approach. Let's say you want the price tags as well. C dot, it's an anchor tag now. So C dot A dot text. You get the prices now. Similarly, you get all the paragraphs now. This is not really pretty. So let's say course name equals spin course price equals this. What this does is it just removes the money part alone, like it splits right over here and then gives you the dollars alone, right? Nothing much. So now it's pretty neat, you could say. You can convert this into an file as well. It's not much of a big task. You can do that alone by yourself. So this is how you do take content from a HTML file that you already have. So for the next part, we'll be one second. For the next part, we'll be taking contents from a website called as timesjobs.com, which helps you get jobs and stuff. Let's say you're proficient in Python, so we'll search for jobs that have Python as a major skill, and then let's say Karthik Sharma does not have experience in machine learning, okay, but he's searching for jobs. You can see that this particular job has machine learning and Python, but then he does not know machine learning, so he can't really apply for this job. But then the next job does not have machine learning, so he can apply for this. As you can see, there's no particular way in this website for us to filter job that does not have machine learning. So we'll try to do something where we get a list of such stuff where you do not have machine learning, but then you have Python. Right. For that, we'll first try to take out all the such jobs, right? Where you have keys which is Python out of this, and then from that we'll try to remove jobs that has machine learning. So once you inspect and see, we can notice that you have all these jobs under an li element with the class name called as clear fixed job bx watch box something, right? Uh, So we'll try to get this stuff out of this website and convert this into an HTML now. Okay. So to do this, we have another library called as import request. Sorry, request, which we take from Python is already there. You need not install. We'll again create a variable called as HTML text, let's say. And what we do is we use request to get a request from that particular website. right? And then we'll try and print this out. Let's see what we get from this. Right? Uh, we get a response code of 200, which means we have successfully, captured the request. Like it's working fine. This code means success. You can find this codes on the internet. Like you must be pretty, well known with the response code 404, which means not found and stuff. So it's one of such codes. So this is since this is the code, we'll do dot text. This should get you the HTML file in particular. We'll try and print it out. This is the HTML code. It's not really clear because their HTML code is not good. So no props. We'll create the as usual the similar approach where you create a variable called soap and then you use beautiful soap to pass it out. Uh, and then what we need is we need this part, right? So we'll create something called as jobs, and then we are finding all the li parts, li elements with this class name, right? Yes. So we'll print this out and then we'll check what this gives. Yes, we're getting a list full of no li elements. Like it's one was over here. The second one is far down. We can't really see that. So it gives you a list full of all the jobs right now. So we'll have to traverse through each one of them again for each job. Let's say job in jobs. Uh, we'll have to let's say you want let's say you want all the jobs that was posted few days ago. So if you notice that website, you have something called as published few days ago. So we'll try to get the date first. Let's say we'll name it published date, and then we are finding. We can't really show you the website. One second. So yeah, we have this posted few days ago, right? You obviously want jobs that are recently posted. You don't want jobs that were posted like 2 months ago or 5 months ago now. So we're gonna filter out jobs that were posted very recently, and you can observe that this view part is often there in every job that's recently posted now. So we'll filter out the date, the time part from each of these jobs, and then we'll filter out those jobs that have this few word in them. And then we're going to check for key skills. We'll filter out key skills from each of those jobs, and then we'll filter out jobs that does not have mission in it. This should be the process that we are trying to do here. uh, let's get back to the code. Yes, so that published date was under the span tag with the class name sim posted. uh, From there, we are going to get the text again. So we'll try and print the publish it and check if it's working properly. Yes, and it's working fine as you can see. So we have got all the dates of all the jobs, and pretty much all of them were posted few days ago. So it's nice. So we'll have to check for stuff that has few, right? So let's say if few is in published date. Then we're going to proceed with steps that is such as we'll be fine. We'll let's say after you get all those stuff, we need three company name skills and we just have those two. So we'll call something company name, and then we have to find where that is, right? So this company name part is under something called as job list comp name, and it's a history tag which is under the same class, right? So we'll find history. Class name is job list comp name, and then this is just to make it prettier, nothing much. If you remove this, it's going to be the same thing only. And then as we've got the company name now, so we're going to get the skills now because this part is important because we need to filter out all the jobs that does not have machine learning, right? So we'll be taking the skills as well. This skills is under span, and then the class name is SRP skills. So that should be enough. Now, let's say we'll ask the user, suppose like if you are enter some that you are unfamiliar with, right? And then we'll ask for input, and then we'll print something like this, and then we'll get back to this. If unfamiliar skill is the skill that we're not going to search for, is not in skills, then we are printing out this stuff. You get it? We have all the skills here. We don't want the unfamiliar skill to be in that skill, so we're using if unfamiliar skill is not in the skills, then we'll proceed with printing all the company name. So let's try and execute this. Let's say this one learning. Okay, one second. There you go. You have all the jobs without machine learning and the required skills. Right. This is not really case sensitive or space sensitive. If you want, you can try and do that. Just that it works even with with spaces or with caps or something. So that's how you do this. You can try and get this into a what you can say. Suppose suppose you want all these jobs to be there in a separate file or something. You can create something called as jobs as a folder, and then you can add with open. Yeah. Uh, so we are creating something called we create a folder and then we are opening that folder and then we are writing in such a text. We're going to create such a text file that it has company name without any other spaces or something. And then we're going to write all this stuff into this, right? So whatever we have printed outside here, now this will store all this stuff in a separate file with the company name as the file name. And then it'll be storing that inside this particular jobs folder. So when you run this, Again, yeah, unfamiliar listener only will say. Where you have all the jobs with company names as the file names, and you have to store them all in a separate folder. So that's the second part. And then for the final part, let's say uh, you try going to Yahoo Finance, right? You have lots of finance related news and stuff over here. So let's say we're gonna search for some stock called as Apple stock, right? What you want to do here is you can see that it's the latest stock price, and then you want to monitor the stock price every day or something. So, Ashwin in a session told that you can use that Tingo API or something, and then you can monitor its stock price rate. So, how you do it generally with web scraping is you again use the same procedure as told before. So, you try and find the particular class and tag where that is, and then you monitor this data from here. So what we'll be trying to do is we'll take the stock price and the final date that the stock price was at. Like, so you have these two stuff where you have one is at FinStreamer with last name this thing, and then another is at market time notice slot. Right. So we'll try and get this outside as well. So we'll start with the URL. We'll go back to the code. Uh, Also, we are importing another module called as time here because we are going to be monitoring this from, let's say for every 10 minutes or every day or something, right? So let's import time module where you can use that to monitor. You can run the code at certain intervals now. So, so let's create a function now. Let's say called as stock price monitor, and then URL would be this thing. So we'll have to get the HTML from this again. So same process. Request get URL and you're converting that to text. And then you're going to pass this using soup. Uh, and then you need to find the stock uh, price, right? So let's say that's we'll have the stock name first. So soup dot find, and then you have to find its name now. So uh, this is under the stock name is under H1 with the class name this particular thing, right? So we need this one. So we'll note down H1 and the class name. The second would be the sprint streamer under this class name, and then the third is div slot market time notice, and then yeah, that. So we'll go back to the code and we'll try to get all this stuff outside. So we need H1. And then we'll print the stock. Nice. So we've got the stock name. So we'll move on to the next part. We need the price of the stock. So let's create something with stock price, and then we'll use plot find. We have noted the last names before, so and in this particular class, we have something called a span and array. Span where you had the price, right? Uh, so we'll again go through this particular thing, and then we'll go find span inside it, and then you're going to print the text inside that. So this should give you the stock price. There you go, the stock price. So just because this doesn't satisfy our needs, because we need to know when the stock was at this price. So we'll also find the date where this stock had this price. So when, let's say, we'll create a variable when, and we'll also start trying to find when that uh, date was. So it's under div, and then get something called a slot. So it's it's it. very good of the time as well now. So that's how you do this. Let's say you want this to be, uh, clear cut in a file or something. We'll do the same thing where uh, we'll create something called as stock.txt, and then we'll write on it. We'll have stock price, and when. So there you go. Uh, there's one more part where you run this from time to time. No? So let's say, right. So this piece of thing will help you to uh, we'll create something called as uh, time wait 5, and then time dot speed. So this will, since the time wait is 5 and then you're multiplying this by 60, you'll have to wait for 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes. So this, and this all these stuff is under a while loop. So this will keep running, and then it will put the code to sleep for 300 seconds time. So this will run for every 3 seconds, 300 seconds. So if you change this back to uh, 60, so this code will run for every 1 hour, and you can play with this, and then you can try to get all the stuff from that website, like the rate of increase, or how much did it change from the last time, and other stuff. So yeah, that's it for web scraping. I have to compile, to give a summary. We have gone through three particular parts of that scraping. One where you get stuff from a static HTML file that you already have. Another would be to get it from the internet, and third is to try and do stuff with a live. No, this part actually, currently this US markets are down, so you have a static class name. So in live pricing, this class name actually changes a lot. This does not uh, stay the same. So you can try and explore that as well. Uh, if you want to know more about this particular library and stuff, you can go ahead. You can search Beautiful Soup. You'll have the documentation on the internet. You can read through all this stuff. This will contain everything that I've talked about, and more stuff as well. So yeah, that's it. I'll be uploading the collab files if you need, or the original files if you want, that I already have. Let me know which one should I upload. I'll upload them. That's it for website. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Dheeraj. It was a wonderful session. So, okay, guys, let's start the doubt clearance session. If you have any doubts regarding the topics which I have discussed till now in this week, you can post them in the chat box so that we can discuss. And we will be starting the quiz at 10:50. These 15 minutes we will be discussing doubts or something which you have regarding assignments or the quiz on pandas or any stuff which you have. You're open to ask your doubts. You can also type it in the chat box. So in the feedback form which we have got, somebody have mentioned that they are unable to load the CSV file in the Mac device. Is that person available here? If yes, please raise your hand so that we can discuss what the error exactly you're getting. And in the forms, like three to four of you have said to revise like a first revision of EDA and data preprocessing. So now Yashwant and Ashwin will do the same, like they will be revising the pre-processing and EDA part. It's like a short revision.
Hello guys, good morning. This is Yashwant. I will be giving a short overview of data preprocessing today. I hope you all could see my screen. Let me start from the starting, like what is data preprocessing? Data preprocessing involves preparing raw data for analysis or modeling. Like basically we will have a raw data which will be imbalanced, like it have a n number of values and it may have null values as well. So we will be pre-processing it and we will be preparing it so that we can use it in our machine learning model. And what is data? Like data is information, facts, or statistics that you can analyze and interpret. You can call data as information or facts. Like these are the basic libraries we will be importing for our data pre-processing. One is pandas, another one is numpy, and another one is matplotlib. Like for importing data set, you already know we need to call data, we need to create an object data set, and we need to create an object data set, and we need to do we need to call pandas library, and we need to do and we need to call a inbuilt function dot read CSV. Like this will read the data set and just printing the data set. And after reading the data set, we have to, if we want to see a plot of a particular column, we can use this dot index reset index. It will reset the whole data set, and it will call the data set, and we will be resetting only the age, and we are just saving it in another object like df2, and we are just plotting it and we could see the graph. And after that, missing values and how to handle it. As I already know, the raw data will have some missing values, like which we are also called as null values. We have to see, go through the data, and we need to see whether there is any data is uh, whether there is any data is not there. Like I could see here, there is a NAN, which is nothing but a null values. So this is a small data set, so that we can see that there is a null data by seeing it by seeing it here. But what if we are handling with a large data set? So we will be using this function called isNull and dot sum. This will take out all the null values, and dot sum will tell how much null values are there. Like if we there is a big data set, we can call this function inbuilt function, and we can calculate the null values. Like after doing this, you can get how many null values are there in each column. And after that, we need to separate a dependent variable and independent variable. As I already told, if the values of one sample affect the values in other sample, then the samples are dependent. If the values in one sample reveal no information about those of other sample, then the samples are independent. Like if the sample is affecting, like if the age is 30, also the salary is not going to change. If the age is 35, also the salary is not going to change, but the purchased will be changed if the salary is low, if the salary is high. So purchased will be your dependent variable on this, and your age, salary, and country maybe will be your independent variables. So I'm just calling the all rows, and calling the which are the columns which I need to give for independent variable. I'm just creating object X, and I am calling the data set which I imported, and I am stating iloc function, and calling the which are the independent variable we have to assign, and I am doing the same for dependent variable. And for handling null values, you can use several strategies like mean, median, mode, and even you can use advanced algorithm if needed. So for that, I am just importing a library sklearn. This is nothing but a scikit-learn library, which we will be using mostly in data pre-processing. Like from sklearn, I am just calling a simple imputer. After calling imputer, I'm just putting this imputer function in object imputer, and I'm giving for our data set, I'm just calling I'm just using strategy mean, which will fill out these null values NaN, NaN. And after calling this, I'm just giving my code. I'm telling, calling the imputer. I'm just telling fix uh, this 1 and 3. This is nothing but your second column, age, and your salary. I'm just telling it to fix it. And after fixing it, I'm just transforming it. After transforming it, you could see that mean values are now fixed in our data set. And after comes categorical data. Categorical data are nothing but the text data. We can't put text data directly into our machine learning model. So we will be converting this text data into zeros and ones. For that, we will be using label encoding. This label encoding will convert this text data into 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And after converting into label encoding, we will be converting into one hot encoding, which will give 1 0 0 0. Like if apple is present, it will give 1 for apple, and if banana is present, if it will give 1 for banana. And the label encoding zeros and 0 1 2 3 4, it will be assigned based on the alphabetical order. Like you could see apple is 0 and banana is 1 and grape is 2 and orange is 3. Like wise, it will be assigned using label encoding. And after that, I am just importing label encoder from sklearn.preprocessing. And after importing, doing the same, calling, creating an object and putting our label encoder there. And after that, I'm just calling this first column, which is nothing but the zero, which have the categorical data in our data set. That is nothing but Australia, Russia, India. Like I'm just calling it. I'm just converting into uh, 0 1 2 3 4 by using label encoder. And as you could see, the output of this is 0 2 1. And after that, I'm just doing one hot encoder. Like I'm creating another one object, one hot encoder. I'm calling one hot encoder inbuilt function. I'm just and after that, I'm just transforming it and reshaping into an array format, so that now you could see one that which is nothing but Australia. Wherever Australia is present, it will give one, and wherever Russia is present, it will give one here, and wherever India is present, it will give one here. And after that, I'm just printing the data frame. Now you could see what is inside our data frame. Now it is nothing but zeros and ones column. And after that, I am just doing label encoder for our y label also, which is nothing but our dependent variable. And after that, doing splitting data into train and test, because before inputting our data set into machine learning, we have to split the data into train and test purpose, because it will make the model to perform more. So if we more or less trained data will give you performance issue uh, in your ML model. So mostly we will be splitting the data into 80:20 ratio, like 80% will be used for training and 20% will be used for testing. So again, from sklearn library, I'm just calling model selection. I'm importing the library train test split. And after train test split, I am just assigning x train, x test, y train, y test objects. I'm calling train test split. I'm telling after calling this inbuilt function, I'm just giving the parameters x, take x, that is nothing but a dependent variable, and take y, that is nothing but a dependent variable. I'm just telling test size dot 20, which is nothing but take test size for 20% and give 80% of 80% data for training. And I'm just giving parameter random state is equal to 0. We are giving random state is equal to 0 because randoms, every time if I run this code, it will start from a particular value like 0, or it will start from particular middle, or it will start from in. So we need to, if this random state is mandatory, so that every time if you run this code, it won't give random values, it will give a particular values. And after doing this, I'm just printing x string. Now you could see from there are 0 to 19, right? Now it is reduced, like it is reduced to 80% for a train. And for y test, you could see there is 4 columns, which is nothing but 20% of the test size. And this is the basic requirements you needed for data pre-processing. And these are extra things. What if a data set have duplicate data? Uh, if a data set have a duplicate data, You can use drop duplicates function, and you can give a subset inside this drop duplicates as a parameter. Like it will drop from a particular column. After I'm giving subset is equal to country, now you could see it dropped all the duplicates from country column. Like only 3 countries are there, and it dropped every other duplicates of that country. Now you could see only Russia, Australia, Russia, India are occurred only once. And what if the data set is imbalanced? We have to balance the data set by doing oversampling and undersampling. Undersampling, in the sense, undersampling is a technique to balance uneven data set by keeping all the data in minority class and decreasing the size of the majority class. Like if you see a imbalanced data, there will be n number of labels. In n number of labels, some classes will be have more majority data, some class will have a minority data. We have to increase the minority data. We have to keep all the minority data by without changing it, and we have to reduce the size of the majority class. And oversampling, in a sense, oversampling can be defined as adding more copies to minority class. That is nothing but the vice versa of undersampling. For that, I'm just calling IMB learn. IMB learn is a library which we will call as imbalanced learn library. And from unbalanced learn library, I'm just calling random undersampler. This will randomly undersample the data set which we have. And I'm just defining a function and calling the inbuilt function, and defining another object RUS, which is nothing but random undersampler X train, random undersampler Y train. I'm just changing fit resample. Now this will resample our whole data set. I'm just giving parameter. Take X train and Y train for your parameter, and after that I'm just printing that before sampling and after sampling. As you could see, there is 1:9, and it is reduced to 0:7, and 0:7 is not reduced, just it gives 1:7, which is just undersampled the data. And after the same we will do for oversampling also. We will calling a random oversampler. Like we will do the same, and I'm just calling out ROS X train, ROS Y train. I'm just defining the object, and I'm fitting and resampling the X train and Y train by giving the parameters. And now you could see there is a difference in 0:7 is 0:9. Just it increased the minority class by doing oversampling. I hope this is the basic overview of data pre-processing. I hope all you have understood.
Okay, guys, I think you all have understood about the data pre-processing. So, as we are running out of time, we will be doing the quiz, and after that, we will be taking the doubts if you have any in the EDFR. So, Ashwin, you can start the quiz. So, the quiz will be on the quizzes platform. Make sure you open that thing. Ashwin, if possible, share your screen. Once all of you, like keep your names as a username, because this is a graded quiz. You will be given some marks. Make sure you have given your name as your username, as this will be graded. Here we can see hey hey and hello. You can use your own name and you can join. Once you are done, you can raise your hand so that we can get who are joined with this. Okay, let's wait till 10:55 and we will be starting the quiz by 10:55. Is there anyone facing issue joining the quiz? Okay, I think all of you have joined so that we can start the quiz now. So, okay, guys, I think all of you have completed the quiz. Like, is there anybody left? Shall we discuss the question and answers now? Shall we discuss the entire 24 questions, or do you have any doubts so that we will be proceeding with that questions itself? Can we end the quiz? Like, is there anybody left to write the quiz? Like, if you are still writing the quiz, just raise your hand. Yashwan, let it be. Let the quiz be running. Let's discuss the questions now. Like, I think majority of the people completed. So, guys, you are having any doubt in the first question? Otherwise, drop down your doubt questions in the chat. We will be discussing those. I think the first question is clear, right? Anybody have doubt in the first question can raise their hands now. Otherwise, we can move to the next question. If you are having any doubts, please raise your hands and you're open to ask about the doubts. Okay, let's move to the third question. I can see that many of you have kept it incorrect. Like, are you having any doubt in this question? You can raise your hands, or you can keep it the question in the chat so that we can assist you if you are having any queries. It's okay. I think we can move to the next question. Yashwant, you can unmute yourself and you can speak with the people.
Hello. If you have any doubt in these questions, you can ask me. I will start from the starting. What is a class in Python? As you all know, it's a blueprint for creating objects. Which of the following is true about inheritance in Python? It is the answer for this question is a subclass can inherit attributes and methods from a parent class. This is the literal meaning for inheritance in every programming language. What is the purpose of exploratory data analysis? To perform initial investigation in data and discover patterns. Many of them may have attended this or this to clean and to visualize data for presentation. It is not only visualizing the data for presentation. We are just going through that data. So we are doing some initial investigations, and after that we are coming to conclusion. So the answer is to perform initial investigation on data and discover patterns. And how do you create an instance of a class car? As you could see, the answer the answer for this is the third option. My car creating an object. I'm just creating car in brackets. And what is the importance of understanding unique values in categorical columns during EDA? The answer is it provides insights into diversity of data. Like it will give uh, understanding of unique values which are present in our data set. So I think many of them made incorrect here. So you have to brush up your concepts in EDA once. And which library is commonly used for data analysis and manipulation in Python? As you all know, like many of them attended correctly, and which is nothing but pandas. We will be mostly using pandas in data analysis. And what is the purpose of data cleaning in data pre-processing? Like to remove the outliers and noise from the data, and everyone attend, I think, I hope most of them attended correctly. And what is the primary purpose of downsampling and upsampling labels in a data set? And to balance the answer is to balance the distribution of labels in data set. So as I told in the overview, we are doing downsampling and upsampling in a data set to balance the distribution of labels, so that we will be using that balanced data set in an ML model, we will get an accurate precision. And for next question, how do you remove an element from set in Python? And most of them attended wrong. The answer is you can use dot remove or dot delete. This will help you to remove an element from a set in Python. So the answer is both A and sorry, you can use remove and discard, not delete, remove and discard. So answer will be both A and C. And what is the basic library used for plotting? As you all know, matplotlib, we will be using matplotlib for plotting. And why is handling missing data important in data pre-processing? As everyone attended correctly, the answer is missing data can lead to biased analysis and inaccurate conclusions. So I hope everyone attended that correctly. And what does the term uh, imbalanced data set mean in the context of data pre-processing? And most of them attended correctly. The answer is data set where one class is significantly more frequent than other. And which plot is suitable for visualizing the distribution of numerical data? And most of them didn't attend it correctly. The answer is nothing but box plot. So visualizing the distribution, as you could see, right, box plot in the sense it will be like this. So you could see the distribution, various distribution of a particular data using this plot easily, and you can understand it more easily. So the answer will be the box plot. And what does heat map visualize in correlation analysis? And most of them didn't attend it correctly. And the answer is correlation matrix between numerical variables. We will be using a heat map for correlation matrix between numerical variables. So this is a basic question you need to know. And what does a super function do in Python? And everyone attended correctly, which is nothing but it allows access to methods and properties of a parent class. And what is the purpose of dot read CSV, which is everyone know, to read data from a CSV, which is nothing but comma separated values. And which function can be used to find missing values from a panda data frame? There are a number of things, but the answer is df.snl. As I already told, snl we will be using to find the missing values if the data set is so big. And what is the purpose of df.group by function in pandas? That most of them didn't attend it correctly. The answer for the question is to calculate summary statistics for each group in the data frame. After doing data analysis, like data pre-processing, you will use a df.group by function to calculate summary statistics of each group in the data frame. And how can you access the shape of a pandas data frame df? So basically most of them, I think you called selected this, but basically if you need to know a shape of a data frame, you need to use this df.shape. You don't want to use this uh,
Just a second. Can anybody say the difference between the option A and option D? Why option A is wrong and why option D is correct? Can anybody, like, I have seen that there are five correct responses. Can anybody answer that? Why it's option D? Anyone? So basically, the option A is yeah, there's yeah, it's correct. One is method and another one is attribute. But in pandas, we will be using attributes to know the different properties like df dot shape, df dot size, df dot describe, df dot info, etc. So you can go to the next question. Question.
Okay. And what is encapsulation in OOPS? Like as you all know, most of them attended correctly, and which is nothing but both B and C for the building, bundling data and methods within a class, and hiding the implementation details. Like hiding the implementation details is the basic definition for encapsulation, and bundling data and methods, basic definition for encapsulation in OOPS. So both B and C are correct. And which Python data type is immutable? As you all know, list is not immutable. So for having list, we will be using tuple. Tuple is nothing but immutable, and list is mutable. And after what is a linked list, everyone knows a collection of nodes where each node contains data and reference to another node. We will be using linked list instead of array for this feature only. And this is a scenario, and the both last both questions are critical questions. So consider a scenario where you are tasked with analyzing customer feedback data from an e-commerce platform. The dataset contains textual feedback from customers regarding their shopping experience. What is the most appropriate first step in data pre-processing pipeline for the task? First of all, as I already told you, after going through the data, you need to break down the textual data, because this will be a uh, so you see all the things like removal of stop words, removal of punctuation and special characters. This all comes under next. The basic thing you need to do is you need to break down the textual data. So the answer is breaking down of the textual data. This is the answer. And predict the output of the given Python code. Like if you just copy this and put it in Python compiler, you could see if we mentioned the list one is equal to -10, -20, -30, and we called a series object, and we created series object and call the series function. We just calling list hash and cross 2. So we are just printing series, and this will give the output 0 to 10, 120, 230, 3 minus 10, 420, 530, because we are just calling list cross and 2. So we will be getting this output. So the answer for the question is this option 1 is the answer for the question. And I hope all you have cleared your doubt. And if you have any queries, you can ask in the comment section.
Like, does anybody familiar with Python and MySQL from 12th itself? Like CBSE has provided a course called Informatics Practices where you will be given a basic idea of Python and MySQL in the class 12 itself. Like anybody is there from that stream here? So basically, okay, okay. So basically, the last question was taken from the previous year informatics practices paper itself. This was one of the tricky question in that examination also. Okay. So anybody having any doubts regarding any questions or any topics which you have discussed here? Like all the speakers were there here who have taken the session from the last week. So I think some of you might not be attending the sessions as you are not available in the afternoon. So this session is for clarifying your doubts if you have any. Otherwise, we can wrap up the session. And afternoon, you will be having a session on hypothesis testing at 2:15. Make sure you attend that one. So if you are having any doubts regarding the topics which I will discuss in this week or regarding the questions of the quiz, you can ask. Otherwise, you are okay to leave. You can wrap up the meeting if you are not having any questions. So here we can see the highest was 130 points out of 180. We thought that it would be around 160 or 150. Okay. Those are the top three persons. So okay, if you're having any doubts on these questions or any
Like there are some things like 135, but it is placed at second, and 130 is placed at first. This is because due to the timings we have given and accuracy. Like, but we will be basically we will be giving the points based on this 135 and on 130. So we'll be sharing this in Excel sheet soon after plotting all your points there. So, Siraj, it's up to you.
yeah, sure. Like if you're not having any doubts, so you are okay to leave. Otherwise, we can discuss if you're having any doubts. If you're having any doubts, you're feel free to ask in the chat box, or you can directly ask. So okay, guys, that's it for today. If there are any no doubts, we can wrap up the meet here, and we can continue it in the afternoon session. Okay, guys, thank you. If you are unable to speak here, you can mail us your doubts also. If you are having any, you are welcome to mail us the doubts. Okay, we will be ending up the meet. Thank you, guys. Thank you for participation.